Hi, my name is Lex, and I drive people around in my car at night to help them get where they need to go. Most nights are quiet here in San Antonio, Texas, especially after dark. The streetlights glow, the roads are calm, and I like listening to the radio while I wait for a ride request. But one night, something strange happened. Something I'll never forget. It started like any other evening. I had just finished dinner, cereal and toast, my favorite, and was parked near the Riverwalk, watching the lights shimmer on the water. Ding! A new ride request popped up on my phone. The name said Mr. Fisher, and he was just a few blocks away. I drove to the pickup spot, near a quiet part of the city where old trees leaned over the road. That's when I saw him, standing under a streetlight, wearing a light blue jacket and a big smile. He opened the door and said, "Good evening, Lex." I blinked. "How do you know my name?" He chuckled. "Oh, I just know things." Okay, I thought. Maybe he saw my name on the app, no big deal. As we started driving, he looked out the window and said, "You always take this route to work, don't you? Up 281, turn left at the bakery. You like that cinnamon bread, right?" My hands gripped the wheel tighter. I hadn't told him any of that. "Do you live near Alamo Heights?" he asked. "Cute neighborhood. And your daughter, Maya, right? She loves to play with sidewalk chalk." My eyes got wide. How did he know my daughter's name? "How do you know all that?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He smiled, still looking out the window. "You should really lock your doors more often," he said softly. My heart skipped a beat. I looked at him in the mirror. His smile hadn't moved. His voice was calm. Too calm. I reached slowly to press the lock button on the door. Click. The door's locked. He chuckled again. "Too late for that, don't you think?" I wanted to pull over. I wanted to tell him to get out. But I didn't. Because we were alone. The street was empty. And something about him made my arms feel frozen. "You like scrambled eggs for breakfast," he said, nodding. "And toast with just a little jelly. Not too much, just like your mom used to make before she moved to Houston." "I never put that online." "Stop the car," I whispered. He looked at me. "I said, stop the car." I hit the brakes and pulled to the side of the road. The streetlight above us flickered. Mr. Fisher opened the door slowly and stepped out. "Thanks for the ride, Lex," he said, brushing off his coat. "Oh, and tell Maya I like her space drawings, she's very talented." Then he walked into the trees and vanished. I sat there, breathing fast, heart pounding. I turned off the car and looked around. The street was silent. No footsteps, no cars, no sound. I waited 5 whole minutes. Then I got out and checked the back seat. Empty. Just me. Just silence. I went home, trying to forget what he said. But when I got there, something was different. There, sitting on the front porch, was a drawing of a blue car, my car, with little chalk stars around it, and in the window, a stick figure with a big round head and a blue jacket, smiling. Just like Mr. Fisher. I looked around, but Maya was asleep inside. She didn't draw it, and I never saw Mr. Fisher again. But every so often, when I drive past that same streetlight, I see someone standing under it, wearing a blue jacket, just watching, smiling. Hi, my name is Jordan, and I drive people around in my car at night. I live in Portland, Oregon, where there are lots of trees, bridges, and long, twisty roads. Most nights are calm, but one night, I had a ride I'll never forget. It all started just after dinner. The sun had gone down, and the sky was purple and gray. I parked near the big bookstore downtown, waiting for a new ride request. Ding. My phone buzzed. A man named Mr. Greeley needed a ride from near Forest Park to the other side of the city. I clicked accept and drove up into the hills to get him. When I pulled up, he was standing by the road under a crooked old tree. He wore a black coat, a black hat, and big round glasses. He smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. "Hello," he said. Thank you for picking me up." "No problem," I said, trying to stay cheerful. As he got in, I heard a soft thump from the back of the car. Thump, thump. I looked in the mirror. "Did you put something in the trunk?" I asked. Mr. Greeley nodded. "Just groceries," he said. "Don't worry." But then I heard something else. It sounded like crying. I turned the radio down. "Did you hear that?" Mr. Greeley leaned back in his seat. "The groceries make noise sometimes," he said calmly. "Nothing to worry about." Thump, thump. The sound got louder. I started to sweat. "Sir, are you sure there's only food back there?" Mr. Greeley didn't answer. He just looked out the window. So I kept driving, through the trees, past the river, over the old steel bridge. But the sounds didn't stop. They got worse. Thump, thump. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I gripped the wheel tight. My heart was racing. "Maybe we should check." "No," said Mr. Greeley sharply. "Don't open the trunk. Not now. Just drive." I didn't say another word. I just drove faster. We reached the address he gave me, a dark little street near the edge of town where the streetlights flickered and buzzed. Mr. Greeley got out slowly and smiled again. "Thank you for the ride," he said. "Drive safe." And then, he walked into the fog and disappeared between two houses. I sat there for a minute, staring. Then I turned off the car, got out, and tiptoed to the back. The trunk was closed, still, quiet. But I had to know. I had to look. I slowly reached for the handle and opened a trunk. My heart stopped. Inside, there was nothing. No bags, no food, no boxes, no groceries, and no one. The trunk was empty, but there were scratch marks on the inside, faint, long, and there were little smudges, like someone had been trying to get out. I slammed the trunk shut and jumped back. My phone buzzed again. Another ride request. But when I looked at the name, my blood went cold. It said, Mr. Greeley. Same name, same pickup spot, Forest Park, same time. I looked around. No one was there. And then, from inside the car, thump, thump. I wasn't even inside anymore. Thump, thump. Then a whisper. I ran. I didn't even turn off the engine. I just ran down the street, as fast as I could, not looking back. The next day, the car was still where I left it. But the trunk? It was locked. And my keys? Gone. I asked around. No one had seen a man in a black coat and hat. No one had ever heard of Mr. Greeley. But some drivers say they hear thumping in their trunks after picking up rides from Forest Park. And some say if you check the back seat after dark, you'll see a man smiling with round glasses, just waiting. Hi there, my name is Miles, and I drive people around in my car at night. I live in a beautiful place called Asheville, North Carolina. There are lots of mountains, twisty roads, and big highways that go all around the town. Most nights are quiet, but one night, something happened that I'll never forget. It was just after 9 p.m. I was sitting in my car near Pack Square, sipping on a juice box and waiting for someone to ask for a ride. Then, ding, my phone buzzed. A new ride. I looked at the name. It said, Anna. She wanted a pickup near the Biltmore estate, so I drove there, humming to myself. It was a little dark, and the fog was rolling in, but nothing too spooky. When I pulled up, I saw a young woman standing under a streetlight. She had long hair, a long coat, and very wide eyes. She looked scared. She got into the back seat and whispered, "Please, don't take the highway." I blinked. "Sorry, what was that?" She leaned closer. "Please," she said louder, "don't take the highway. Not tonight. Please go the back way, through the old mountain roads." Now, the back roads were really slow, and dark, and twisty. The highway was faster and had more lights. So I smiled politely and said, "The GPS says the highway's faster. Don't worry, we'll be fine." "No," she said suddenly. Please, don't go on it. Something bad is coming. I laughed a little, just to stay calm. It's just a road, I said. Everything will be okay. But her voice got very quiet. You'll see, she whispered. You'll see what's waiting. I felt a chill run down my arms. Still, I turned the wheel and merged onto Highway 240. The road was quiet at first, just the sound of tires and the streetlights zipping by. Then, my radio fuzzed. Zzz, pop, crack, the music stopped. Then came a strange sound, like breathing. I quickly turned the volume down. The fog got thicker. The headlights could barely see through it. Then I saw flashing lights ahead. Blue, red, yellow. Crash, screeching tires, twisted metal, a huge pileup right in front of us. Cars smashed together, smoke rising. One truck had flipped over. I slammed the brakes. My car spun a little. We stopped just in time. My heart was pounding. We almost... I turned to check on the girl, but the seat was empty. Gone. No sound. No door had opened. No footsteps. I looked back again. Still empty. She was just gone. A few minutes later, sirens came. The police and fire trucks zoomed past. A kind officer walked up to my window. Are you okay? He asked. I think so, I said, still shaking. My passenger, she warned me. She told me not to take the highway. The officer looked confused. What passenger? I pointed at the back seat. She was right there. She begged me to avoid the highway. He looked at my car. Sir, he said slowly, you were alone when we pulled up.
No, her name was Anna. She knew this would happen.
But the officer shook his head. There's no one here but you. I checked my phone. The ride request was gone. No record, no payment, no name, just an empty screen. The next morning, I looked up news about the crash. Turns out, almost the same crash happened on that highway 10 years ago to a girl named Anna. She didn't survive, and every year, people say they see her again. Warning drivers, begging them, don't take the highway. Hi, my name is Leo, and I drive people around in my car at night using an app called QuickLift. It's kind of like a taxi, but the phone tells me where to go. I pick people up, take them places, and they give me stars. I live in Boise, Idaho. It's usually quiet at night, just stars, trees, and sleepy houses. But one night, something very strange happened. It was a little past midnight. I was sipping hot cocoa in my car near Julia Davis Park, waiting for my next ride. The app beeped. Ding! A new passenger wanted a pickup out by Lucky Peak State Park. That's pretty far outside the city, and it's dark and wooded there. I checked the name. It just said, unknown. Huh. Weird. But I didn't want to lose my 5-star rating, so I clicked accept and started driving. As I left the city, the lights faded. The road got twisty and narrow. Trees lined both sides like they were whispering secrets. My headlights only showed what was right in front of me. I reached the pin on the map. It was just a dirt path leading into the woods. I stopped the car. No houses, no lights, no people. Hello? I called. Is anyone out there? No answer. Then, I saw something. Between the trees, a shadow. Not moving, not speaking, just staring. It looked like a tall figure with long arms and a dark coat. I couldn't see its face. I blinked, and it was still there. My heart beat fast. I locked my doors and slowly backed the car up. The shadowy figure did not move. It just watched. I drove away quickly, my hands shaking. I didn't even look back. When I got home, I made sure the doors were locked and turned on all the lights. I tried to laugh it off. Just a spooky night, I told myself, nothing real. But then, I looked at my phone. I had a notification. It said, your QuickLift account has been logged in. From Lucky Peak. My eyes went wide. What? I opened the app. My driver profile was active. My picture was showing. But I wasn't the one logged in. The account was Liv from the woods. My hands shook as I watched the map. The little blue dot, my dot, was still there, in the forest, right where I saw the shadow. I tried to log out. I tried to shut off my phone, but the screen flickered. Then I got a message. No name, no face, just a message. It said, I'm still waiting. I jumped and dropped my phone. I picked it up and turned off the whole thing. I threw it in a drawer and ran to my room. All night I heard wind outside my window, leaves rustling, something tapping on the glass. But I didn't look. The next morning, I checked my app again. It was normal. No message, no login, no location in the woods. But then, there was a new ride request. It was from Lucky Peak, and the name, unknown.
Hi, my name is Jake, and I drive people around at night in my car.
It's called ride sharing. Most nights are quiet in Montpelier, Vermont. People just want to go home or get snacks. But one night, something very scary happened. It was 2 a.m. and the streets were empty. I was about to go home when my phone beeped. Ding. Someone wanted a ride from near Hubbard Park. That's a quiet, dark park with big trees and twisty paths. I drove there slowly. The fog was thick, and the trees looked like monsters reaching out. When I stopped at the pickup spot, I didn't see anyone at first. But then, a man in a black suit stepped out from behind a tree. He didn't wave. He didn't smile. He just walked to my car and got in the back seat. "Hello," I said kindly. "Where to?" The man didn't answer. His face was pale like milk, and his eyes looked at nothing. Then he mumbled something. I leaned closer. 44, 25, 89, 73, 1, 2. I blinked. Are those GPS coordinates? The man kept saying numbers. Over and over. 89, 1, 2. I didn't know what else to do, so I typed the numbers into my phone's GPS. It showed a place far outside of town, a tiny dot deep in the woods, past roads I didn't know. "I guess that's where we're going," I said nervously. We drove in silence. No music, no talking. Just the sound of the tires on the road and that man whispering numbers. 89, 1, 2. I glanced in the mirror. His hands were folded. His eyes were wide open, staring at the roof of the car. I shivered. We passed through Bar, then turned onto a gravel road I'd never seen. The trees got closer and thicker. The fog got heavier. My headlights barely helped. Then, the GPS said, "You have arrived." We were at an old broken house with a saggy roof and crooked porch. It looked like no one had lived there for years. I turned to the man. "Are you sure this is it?" He didn't answer. He opened the car door and stepped out. The wind howled. The trees swayed. I wanted to drive away, but I stayed. The man walked to the house. He didn't knock. He didn't look back. He just opened the door and walked inside. The door slammed shut. I waited. Maybe he'd come back. Maybe this was a mistake. I checked the GPS again, but now the screen showed no location found. I blinked. My heart thumped. I looked at the house. No lights, no movement, just darkness. Then, something moved in the window. I saw a face, but it wasn't his face. It was smaller, older. It had no eyes, just dark holes. I yelled and turned on the car. The engine stalled. R, 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 R. I tried again. R, 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 R. The lights in the house flickered on. Every window lit up like fire. I screamed. I stomped the gas. Finally, the engine started and I raced away. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see who else was in that house. I drove straight home, shaking. I locked every door. I closed every window. The next morning, I checked my app. There was no record of the ride. No name, no payment, no trip. It was like it never happened. But later that day, I got a new ride request. It was from the same coordinates, and the message? Just numbers. 8, 9, 1, 2.